You gotta be fucking kidding.
An incredible special effects masterpiece with a nihilistic ending. Today we are talking about John Carpenter's 1982 release, The Thing. With an 86% tomato meter, a 92% popcorn meter, and an 8.2 on IMDb, this is a cult classic that is well worth a watch. Released on June 25th, 1982, the exact same day as Blade Runner, this film had a budget of $15 million and grossed $20 million worldwide. Considered a flop at the box office, the critics hated this film, but it has since found its audience and become a cult classic. Based on a novella by John W. Campbell released in 1938 called Who Goes There, and originally made into a movie by Howard Hawks Production called The Thing from Another World in 1951.
In 1951, producer Howard Hawks shocked the world with his science fiction thriller The Thing. Based on a story by John W. Campbell, writing under the name of Don Stewart, that movie became a classic in its field. Maybe it is best known for its leading man. Gunsmoke's James Arness played the title role, an 8-foot homicidal vegetable from another planet.
John Carpenter's version more faithfully sticks to the story premise of the 1938 novella than the 1951 movie that was released. This actually has an amorphous thing that can actually change, where the 1951 film was just one horrific creature. Starring incredible performances by Keith David, Wilford Brimley, and Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell got the job after working with John Carpenter in his ABC film Elvis and working with him on Escape from New York. Kurt Russell plays a perfect 1980s American anti-hero who is quintessentially just there for the money. He is just there for himself. He is a fantastic character in this film, and I love the way that he portrayed it. He is a Scotch-swilling loner who loves chess and is willing to destroy a computer when he loses a game. With great lines like, "I just want to get up to my shack and get drunk," I absolutely loved Kurt Russell in The Thing. Set in Antarctica in the winter of 1982, this film has all the 80s nostalgia you could ask for. They've got people on roller skates, they've got Walkman cassette players, they've got VHS tapes of TV shows, all the great technology stuff that I love from my childhood. A great callback. Although set in Antarctica, The Thing was filmed in Stewart, British Columbia, Canada. It was filmed on a mining site location with one road access up. They built the entire set, the Outpost 31, in the summer of that year before permafrost hit the ground, and then went back and filmed in the winter. At the end of the shooting, most of the cast and crew would travel back down the mountain and spend the night in Stewart. The town had a little bit of a port and water access, so they actually floated up a logging barge that was a dormitory for all the crew to sleep in. They all slept on this floating boat every single night. They would travel up in the morning at 4 a.m., shoot all day, travel back down at 2 a.m. Long shooting days, very horrendous schedule for all of the cast and crew on this film. Shot with an all-male cast of 12 men at Outpost 31, this film relies heavily on special effects and practical effects, puppetry, all the stuff from the classic 80s era, and it still holds up 43 years later. It still looks great, especially on Blu-ray. 22-year-old special effects artist Rob Bottin did an incredible job on this film. He did a fantastic job, and unfortunately, he worked himself half to death. He was working 20-hour days, hardly sleeping. By the end of the film, he was actually hospitalized because he was not sleeping, not taking care of himself, and just overstressed and overworked. Rob Bottin did all the special effects with the exception of the dog sequence at the beginning of the film. That was actually done by longtime incredible FX artist Stan Winston himself. Rob Bottin had just done The Howling, and he was tired of doing dog sequences. With his overworked schedule anyway, he went ahead and asked Stan to help out with this. Stan Winston came in and did an incredible job. No CGI, all just practical effects and puppetry, and it still looks fantastic. A huge credit goes to the matte painter on the film, the incredible, historic Albert Whitlock, who had worked on such masterpieces as The Birds, Hindenburg, and Earthquake. He's been in the business for a long time. All of the wide shots that you see, that's all matte painting. All of the giant spaceship, that's all matte painting. That is all him. Although John Carpenter wanted Jerry Goldsmith to score the film, Goldsmith had just finished working on Aliens, Scott Ridley's Aliens. He didn't have a good time on the film in 1979 scoring that, so he turned down The Thing. After that, the studio suggested he reach out to legendary composer Ennio Morricone. Ennio Morricone is known for his spaghetti westerns with Sergio Leone, Once Upon a Time in the West, Once Upon a Time in America, and The Untouchables. He is a master of classical film scoring. He also did The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. This great spaghetti western composer. He did a great job on this film. He uses a lot of classical high-pitched strings that with a lot of sustain. He even uses more modern synthesizers and rhythmic drums and a lot of organ work. It's scored great. No complaints for Morricone here. Top 5 interesting facts about The Thing. Fact number 5. It has become a British tradition for Antarctic research stations to watch The Thing yearly during their Midwinter Fest on June 21st. Interesting fact number 4 about John Carpenter's The Thing. John Carpenter comes from the school of low-budget filmmaking, and as a master of saving every dollar he can, opposed to building the Norwegian site just to burn it down and film that sequence, he waited until the film's finale and they blew up Outpost 31. The next day, he filmed all of those Norwegian shots in the burned down remnants of Outpost 31. It's the same building because John Carpenter knows how to make a low-budget movie. Interesting fact number 3 about John Carpenter's The Thing. His wife at the time, Adrienne Barbeau, is the voice of the chess master computer system in which Kurt Russell is playing chess. Interesting fact number 2, for the scene where Cooper is restarting the heart of Norris, they got an actual amputee to play that part. So when he has his arms on his heart and they fall into the cavity and get chopped off and he lifts up, that is an actual double amputee wearing a mask to look like the actor, and he pops up with no arms. That's because he has no arms. Back in the 80s, you couldn't rely on CGI. You actually had to get creative. And it looks incredible. You can't tell he's wearing a mask. It looks like the guy just had his arms ripped off. It's great. And very interesting fact number 1. The very opening scene spoils the entire movie. That is, if you speak Norwegian. The 2 men running up to kill the dog coming from the helicopter and shooting at the dog, they say the entire plot of the movie in Norwegian. Just no one notices because no one speaks Norwegian. But their actual quote is, "Get the hell out of there. That's not a dog. It's some sort of thing. It's imitating a dog. It isn't real. Get away, you idiots." They tell you the entire plot of the movie right at the beginning. I love John Carpenter. He's such a genius. My retro recommendation for The Thing, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. It's suspenseful. The special effects still hold up to this day. It's a great movie, well worth a 93-minute watch time. It's fantastic. If you haven't watched it, put it on your bucket list. For our Halloween rating, I'm giving it a 2 out of 5 on the jump scare meter. There's a few jump scares. I'm giving it a 3 out of 5 on the chills factor. You don't know who it is. You know someone's infected, but you're not sure who. And we're giving it a full 5 out of 5 on the gore meter. There is gore galore. I think The Thing is a great movie, but let's hear what some of the critics think. Roger gave the film 2.5 out of 4 and said, "The Thing is a great barf bag movie, but is it any good? No, for 2 reasons. The superficial characterization and the implausible behavior of the scientist. It's clear that John Carpenter concentrated on special effects and allowed the story and people to become secondary." Starlog, maybe one of the biggest science fiction magazines at the time, said this: "John Carpenter was never meant to direct science fiction horror movies. He's better suited to directing traffic accidents, train wrecks, and public floggings." Even the director of the original 1951 film The Thing from Another World said, "If you want blood, go to the slaughterhouse." All in all, it's a terrific commercial for J&B Scotch. Critics hated this film. I love it. It's a cult classic. I think you love it too. My personal story with The Thing: this is one of my brother's favorite movies of all time. He was sending me pictures recently of his surround sound system for his home theater, 7.4.4. He has speakers all over the place, but I happened to notice he had a poster of The Thing framed on the wall of his movie house. Him and I started talking about it 43 years later, and we both loved the movie. We talked about how great it is, how insightful it is. We talked about the scientist at the beginning saying everything of the movie in Norwegian. We talked about the ending being this nihilistic ending that we're all fucked, which I absolutely love the way this movie ended. 43 years later, my brother and I are still talking about The Thing. This being a Scream Factory release, it is loaded with special features. You can see the slipcover has the alternate art, or you can go with the classic art on the inside. You can reverse that around if you want. This is reversible like all of Scream Factory products. You can display either. We've got an entire disc of special features. There's a 90-minute documentary. There is so many special features in this edition. Absolutely worth a watch. If you've never watched The Thing, you should absolutely pick it up today. Our 31 Days of Halloween, The Thing, 9 out of 10. You should give it a go.